everything the internet has told you about losing weight. Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen. In today's video, I will be talking about the most important factor when it comes to weight loss. Spoiler alert, it's not carbs, fat, insulin, how many meals you eat, or whether you fast. A big thank you to my colleague Eric Williamson and the team at Unlocked Fitness and Nutrition for his expertise on this video. If you are looking for any kind of one-on-one support for weight loss or sports nutrition, these are definitely your people, so I'm gonna be leaving some links below. And if you are new here, hit up my description to sign up for my newsletter where you can get exclusive discounts on my new supplement line, New Theory, and also don't forget to download my free Hunger Crushing Combo ebook and my protein ebook, both of which are gonna come in handy after watching this vid. Okay, before we get too far into things, let's talk about my sponsor today, Element. So Element has been in heavy rotation in my supplement arsenal for like a few years now. It definitely helped me get through breastfeeding, tennis lessons in like Florida heat, jet lag travel days, sickness, hangovers obviously, and a lot more. And my sports RD colleagues first told me about Element specifically as they use it with a lot of their elite clients and athletes because it has a science-backed electrolyte ratio of 1,000 milligrams sodium, 200 milligrams potassium, and 60 milligrams magnesium. Plus, it has no colors, sugar, or fillers. Electrolytes have so many important roles in the body, from regulating nerve impulses, hormones, nutrient absorption, and fluid balance. Like, if you are depleted in electrolytes, you will feel it, and it does not feel good. I like to switch it up on the flavors. Watermelon has probably been one of my favorites for the past year or so, but they've got 9 different flavors and it's really fun to try them all out. And right now you can try all flavors since Element is offering my viewers a free sample pack with any order. So that's 8 single serving packets free with any Element order. And this is a really great way to try all 8 flavors or share Element with a salty friend. So you can get yours at drinkelement.com/Abbey Sharp. And again, this deal is only available through my link. So you gotta go to drinklmnt.com/Abbey Sharp to get yours. Okay. So, it is no secret that long-term weight loss is hard as f***. And we have talked a lot about the physiological adaptations that take place in the body, plus the frustrating mind games that increase the chances of weight cycling over time. But basically, there are 3 main points of resistance for those who are attempting to lose weight and keep it off. And those are increases in appetite, subconscious declines in non-exercise movement or NEAT, and a reduced metabolism. Now, I know the world has always been obsessed with metabolism, but it's actually the smallest player in the game and not even clinically related to one's likelihood of losing or regaining weight. Weight loss generally only reduces metabolism by an average of 3 to 5%, or around 50 to 150 fewer calories burned per day. So let's just shelf that factor for a hot minute. The second point of resistance comes from subconscious reduction in activity, or NEAT, which is basically any movement that isn't structured exercise. So in other words, when we are losing weight, our body just kind of slows down to compensate for the lack of fuel in an effort to maintain our body weight homeostasis. So this generally results in a 35% reduction in total calories burned, or approximately 350 calories less burned per day, just from not fidgeting and not tapping or not standing quite as much. So yeah, a decline in calorie output does matter to weight loss, but actually pales in comparison to the impact of how much we eat. So if hunger and cravings are the reason for you throwing in the towel, know that this is the #1 reason why diets fail and the most important factor that we need to consider and target when it comes to losing weight and keeping it off. Just look at the data we have on diet aids today. Over the past several decades, we have seen a plethora of alleged weight loss drugs and supplements hit the market that have a focus on burning calories, aka increasing energy expenditure. So things like amphetamines, phentermine, caffeine, ephedrine, yohimbine, all of these can increase our metabolism or calorie output, but they have all had really lackluster results when it comes to actual fat loss. Even super high dose fat burning supplements that result in as much as 150 more calories being burned per day did not result in any body fat loss. Even drugs like CGLT2 inhibitors that result in over 300 calories lost per day through urine only result in about a 5% weight loss. So even when you burn or lose a significant amount of calories per day, your weight loss is negligible at best. What I'm getting at here is that focusing on the energy expenditure part of the equation is going to be a thankless task. We need to be thinking about what we can do comfortably to modify how much we consume. And if you are constantly hungry, good luck with that. And that is where the new GLP-1 agonist drugs like Wegovy, Ozempic, and Mounjaro have all come into play. I went into a lot more detail in my video on Ozempic right here, but drugs that target the calories inside of the equation by reducing appetite result in a 20% reduction in weight. That is 4 times the effect of the most powerful fat burners on the market that focus on the other part of the equation. Obviously, I'm not suggesting that the only way to achieve weight loss is to take Ozempic, but all the best research on sustainable weight loss concludes that reducing hunger and appetite is the most important factor in helping make staying in a calorie deficit more easy, effortless, and sustainable. And that, my friends, comes down to calorie density. Calorie density is the number of calories per gram of food. And as Kevin Hall, a world-renowned obesity researcher, points out, calorie density is likely the strongest factor associated with how many calories somebody eats in a meal. So an easy way to think about this is the fewer calories in each bite of food you take, the less calories you are likely to consume in a meal, across the day, and over time. And this is what I mean when I say that a food has the best satiety bang for its caloric buck. But this concept of calorie density helps explain a lot of scientific findings related to weight loss success. For example, it explains why highly processed food consumption is often linked to weight gain, whereas a whole food, unprocessed diet is linked to weight loss. One study found that despite similar experiences or ratings of hunger, fullness, and satisfaction, a processed food diet had almost twice as many calories per gram compared to the unprocessed diet, resulting in a surplus of 500 calories. Another study found that dieters given a low energy density diet reported more fullness on fewer calories and greater weight loss without the need to meticulously calculate or count anything. Basically, as this 2023 meta-analysis concludes, the total amount of food in grams generally remains the same for most people, but the energy density, aka calorie density, of that food is what is going to be strongly influencing how many total calories you eat. So how are low calorie density foods able to dupe our body into an effortless calorie deficit for weight loss? Well, it mostly comes down to gastric distension. Essentially, when food goes into our gullet, it distends our gut, and our vagus nerve in the gut sends a signal to the brain that we are full. So if we were to eat like a big meal-sized portion of salad with tons of veggies and protein and avocado, aka lots of low energy density hunger-crushing compounds and a ton of volume, our gut is gonna get stretched out and our brain is gonna register, yup, I'm full. Now, in contrast, if we were to try to eat that same volume of food to trigger that same vagus nerve reaction, but this time we're eating a highly processed diet of burgers and fries and a milkshake, guess what's gonna happen? You're still gonna get full, but it's gonna take you like 3 times as many calories to get there. So the game becomes, how can we combine these things into a meal where you get the meal components that you're super excited about, like, the burger, but you also feel full for a reasonable amount of calories. Maybe that means having the burger with a side salad. Balance is a crazy concept, right?
Perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
But anyway, if you recall from my super controversial video on why strict calorie counting isn't necessarily the best method for weight loss, it's because it can often encourage us to ignore or override the importance of calorie density. This is most evident with diets like If It Fits Your Macros, where bros are making meals out of Twinkies and Pringles and waxing poetic about their weight loss results. Yes, you can absolutely lose weight on a highly processed diet as long as you're staying in a calorie deficit. But without understanding and utilizing the principles of calorie density, maintaining that calorie deficit is going to feel overwhelmingly unintuitive and probably pretty miserable because you are going to be hungry as Now, if you're already on the calorie counting train, first of all, do check in with yourself. Make sure your relationship with food is still solid, because obsessively counting anything can be very mentally exhausting and all-consuming, which is why I always recommend working with an expert like my friends at Unlocked. But second, do not make the mistake of choosing foods solely based on the amount of calories they contain. This is an all too common mistake that just leads to people binge eating later on. Instead, you want to look at food's ingredients and the volume of those meals as well. So for example, sure, a Wendy's Cobb salad might have more calories than like a 4-piece order of chicken nuggies, but which do you think is gonna hold you longer? Because I'd be looking for a follow-up lunch right after the nug.
The worst part is, I'm still hungry.
So, how do we determine the calorie density in food? Now, technically, this is just the amount of calories divided by the number of grams when cooked, or however you plan to eat the food. I don't suggest you start obsessively counting calorie density values, but Eric graciously made us this little listy-loo of the calorie density of many commonly consumed foods, just to help you compare so you have a sense of what this concept looks like in real life. Generally speaking, what you need to remember is that you are looking for 3 main components: nutrients, fiber, and water, which is really nicely illustrated by this graphic that Eric made for us here as well. As you can see, the kinds of foods with the lowest calorie density are typically your non-starchy, high water, high fiber vegetables and fruit. Now, it's important to note that while water is the most important component of the satiety index because it can temporarily stretch that vagus nerve without any calories at all, it doesn't keep you full for long. Hence why we need that water to be combined with actual nutrients, specifically hunger-crushing combos. Unfortunately, of course, a lot of people will misuse and abuse this hack, quickly turning it into an actual ED. So please do not interpret the research on calorie density as an invitation or recommendation to just live off of celery juice and romaine. I can promise you, you will never, ever be full. Let's go over some suggestions on how to apply calorie density when making healthy, balanced food choices at home. Now, carbs are generally one of the greatest sources of high energy density foods and definitely the biggest opportunity to make satiety improvements. That's why I use the hunger crushing combo to dress up naked carbs if and when we do choose higher energy density choices. But when weight loss is the goal, high fiber fruit and veggies and whole grains like barley, quinoa, potatoes, sweet potato, and winter squashes are always going to be your best bet. Also, thinking about how we prepare these starches also matter. So like a baked potato will have a lower energy density than French fries, for example. Moving on, for proteins, you ideally want to choose lean options like fish, poultry, protein shakes, and Greek yogurt. Meat fats are dense, and items like ribs or brisket with a lot of added sugary barbecue sauce are going to yield more calories per gram. Now for fats, whole food options like nuts, seeds, and avocado, or what I call hunger crushing compounds with dual citizenship, are generally going to be the most filling and least calorie dense options over something like straight up butter or oil. Now, let's put this into practice for a weight loss goal. So, fried rice has a calorie density of 1.74 calories per gram, boiled white rice has 1.51 calories per gram, and wild rice has 98 calories per gram. Wild rice is lower primarily because it's higher in fiber and it absorbs more water when it's cooked. This means a cup of fried rice would have 245 calories, a cup of boiled white rice would have 210, and a cup of wild rice would only have 135. You could walk away from each bowl of rice with a similar amount of fullness, but with having consumed about 1.5 times more calories from the white rice compared to the wild, and almost double the amount of calories from the fried rice compared to the wild. So wild rice, if you like it, would be an ideal option to choose more often if you are looking to lose weight. You can also utilize calorie density if your goal is to gain weight. So in this case, choosing fried rice over whole grain, or orange juice over an orange, or adding in lots of olive oil when you're cooking, etc. I also really want to reiterate here that despite evidence suggesting that calorie density is likely the most important tool for simply choosing which foods are most likely to help support weight loss long term, macros still matter here, especially protein, which we talked a lot about in my supporting weight loss video right here. You might have also noticed that the recommendations that I gave for specific food groups align very nicely with my hunger crushing combo. Now, these concepts are related but distinct, where the focus of energy density is on achieving the most satiety for the lowest calorie, whereas the focus of my hunger crushing combo is fulfilling satiety, nutrient needs, and satisfaction. Which hunger crushing compound you prioritize will depend uniquely on your goals, including weight loss, so the framework can really be adopted to meet your personal needs. But ultimately, at the end of the day, the recommendations look generally the same. We want to include a variety of high fiber fruits and vegetables. We want to include a lot of really great lean proteins, and we want to make sure that we're getting in more of those whole food sources of fats. So, some important summarizing takeaway points. Number one, there's nothing magical about weight loss diets like paleo, carnivore, clean eating, whatever. If they're reducing the consumption of highly processed foods, they are reducing calorie density and making staying in a calorie deficit easier long term because you can stay fuller on fewer calories. Number two, yes, you could lose weight eating Twinkies all day, but you're likely gonna be really hungry and throw in the towel really quick. And three, choosing only low-calorie foods is useless if it doesn't keep you full. That is a setup for ravenous hunger and a binge. So you want to focus on the most satiety bang for your caloric buck by thinking about volume and also thinking about those hunger-crushing combos. And finally, this information is not an endorsement to go on some low-calorie diet. This has the potential to do real harm by encouraging people to just eat lettuce and water all day. That is not healthy weight loss. That is an ED. So you do not need to eliminate high energy density foods while trying to lose weight. The goal here is to try to integrate more lower energy density foods alongside higher density favorites to improve satiety and nutrient intake while making staying in a calorie deficit more tolerable. It's the burger with the side salad kind of vibe. And on that note, that's all that I have for you guys today. Thank you again to Eric Williamson at Unlocked Fitness and Nutrition for the support on this video. Definitely check them out in the description if you're looking for any one-on-one weight loss support. They are my people. And on that note, that's all that I have for you guys today. If you like this video, give it the thumbs up. And I will see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Look at that description, sign up for my newsletter. There is so much to tell you about New Theory coming up. I cannot wait. Bye.